Welcome, dear brothers and sisters. Thank you so much for joining us for this week's Watchtower Study. In this video, we'll highlight simple, practical comments that you can use and adapt for your own participation at the weekend meeting. Let's review this week's Watchtower together, verse by verse and paragraph by paragraph, looking for ideas that help us apply the counsel in our daily life, at home, in the congregation, and in the ministry, all to Jehovah's praise.
Question for paragraph 1. According to paragraph 1, why do people everywhere deeply appreciate being treated with respect? All of us feel deeply touched when others treat us with dignity and kindness. When someone listens, looks us in the eye, and takes our feelings seriously, our heart relaxes. We sense that our life has value and that we are not invisible to others. Jehovah created humans in His image, so the need for respect is not weakness, it reflects our designer. He treasures each person as unique. When we are respected, we get a tiny glimpse of how Jehovah views us, and that strengthens our self-respect and worth.
Proverbs 22 verse 1 reminds us that a good name has more value than great riches. Money can disappear quickly, but a reputation for kindness, honesty, and reliability brings lasting satisfaction. To be respected for godly qualities is better than being merely admired for possessions. Experiencing respectful treatment in the congregation or at home refreshes us. It becomes easier to open our heart, admit weaknesses, and keep trying. Respect is like gentle rain on dry soil. It helps strong love, deep humility, and lasting peace grow within families and congregations. Knowing how much respect means to us personally moves us to show similar consideration to others. We want our words, tone, and body language to reflect Jehovah's viewpoint. When we treat people with sincere respect, we bring honor to His name and attract honest-hearted ones.
Question for paragraphs 2 and 3. In paragraphs 2 and 3, what everyday situations test our ability to show respect, and why must we still do so? Paragraphs 2 and 3 remind us that showing respect is not always simple. We constantly see weaknesses in others and feel their imperfections. On top of that, we live in a world where sarcasm, insults, and harsh criticism are considered normal or even entertaining everywhere. Jehovah, however, asks us to stand out as different. We are to honor people of all kinds, not only those who think or act as we do. That includes relatives, fellow worshipers, workmates, classmates, neighbors, and even people who may not treat us kindly always. In the family circle, respect is shown when we listen, avoid hurtful teasing, and take each one's feelings seriously. With fellow believers, we show honor by supporting congregation arrangements, cooperating with elders, and recognizing that brothers and sisters are precious to Jehovah and deserve kindness. Outside the congregation, we reflect Jehovah's standards by being courteous, paying attention when others speak, and behaving honestly in school or at work. Even when people use language that mocks spiritual matters, we answer respectfully and refuse to imitate the disrespectful spirit of this system. As we meditate on paragraphs 2 and 3, we see that respect is not limited to pleasant situations. Jehovah asks us to display it even when circumstances are tense or unfair. Doing so proves that our love for Him is real and shapes our conduct. Question for paragraph 4. Based on paragraph 4, what does it really mean to respect others, and how is that different from simply honoring them?
Paragraph 4 helps us understand that respect starts in the mind and heart. It is the way we view another person. We see them not as a problem or interruption, but as someone who has value before Jehovah and deserves thoughtful consideration from us truly. This inner attitude grows because of what we notice about the person, their spiritual qualities, faithfulness, experience, or the role Jehovah has given them. Even when someone seems unremarkable to the world, we remember that Jehovah may see qualities developing that are not obvious yet. Honor is closely related, but focuses more on our actions. When we honor someone, we choose words, tone, and gestures that show we value them. We avoid belittling comments, impatient sighs, or eye-rolling. Instead, we speak and act in ways that protect their dignity always. Jesus perfectly combined respect and honor. He viewed people as Jehovah did and treated them accordingly. He spoke kindly to children, lepers, tax collectors, and women whom others despised. His manner showed that genuine honor must come from sincere love, not from outward politeness alone. So, respecting others means training our thoughts and actions to match Jehovah's view. We ask ourselves, do my words uplift or crush? Do my reactions show patience? As we keep cultivating respect, our relationships strengthen, and our congregation becomes a warmer reflection of Jehovah's personality. Question for paragraph 5. According to paragraph 5, what reasons help us show respect even when we feel others have not earned it? Paragraph 5 reminds us that our reason for showing respect is deeper than human courtesy. Jehovah himself asks us to honor others, including the superior authorities. When we remember that he is observing, respect becomes part of our worship, not just a social habit daily. Many people today say respect must be earned. Of course, trust needs to be earned. But basic respect is different. We show it because we recognize that each person is alive due to Jehovah's permission and has the potential to respond to the good news. Our love for Jehovah is the strongest motive. When we respect others, we are really saying to Jehovah, I trust your wisdom in allowing this person to exist, and I want to treat your creation well. This attitude pleases him and brings us inner peace. Meditating on Bible examples strengthens this viewpoint. Joshua respected the leadership arrangement Jehovah established, even when circumstances were challenging. Faithful Christians in the early congregation honored rulers and employers imperfect. Their example shows we can respect people because of Jehovah, not because humans are flawless. When we let this reasoning sink in, respect no longer depends on our mood or on how others treat us. It becomes a steady expression of our dedication. We gladly honor people because we love Jehovah and want to reflect his gracious, patient personality more. Question for paragraph 6. In paragraph 6, how do Bible examples prove that we can still show respect to someone who does not respect us? Paragraph 6 tackles a very real question. Can we truly respect someone who repeatedly belittles or mistreats us? On our own, this seems impossible. But when love for Jehovah guides our heart, we can respond in a way that honors him, even under provocation emotionally. Think of Jonathan, who was publicly humiliated by his own father, King Saul. Rather than retaliate, Jonathan continued to support his father's role as anointed king. His respect was not naive. It was based on obedience to Jehovah's command to honor parental and royal authority. Consider Hannah, unjustly accused of being drunk when she was actually pouring out her heart in prayer. She could have defended herself harshly. Instead, she answered the high priest with calm, respectful words. Jehovah later blessed her tremendously, confirming that dignified respect never goes unnoticed. The Apostle Paul also experienced disrespect. In Athens, some listeners dismissed him as a mere chatterer. Yet he addressed them courteously, appealing to their conscience and reasoning from their altar to an unknown God. His respectful approach opened the way for honest-hearted individuals to respond. These accounts show that respect is possible even when we are not respected in return. Love for Jehovah and a healthy fear of displeasing Him steady us. We refuse to mirror harsh behavior, choosing instead dignified speech that honors our God and protects our peace. Question for paragraph 7. As paragraph 7 explains, what makes it especially difficult to keep showing respect to our own family members? Paragraph 7 highlights why showing respect at home can be particularly challenging. We see our relatives every day. We know their habits and weaknesses well. When someone is ill, anxious, or emotionally drained, their words or actions may unintentionally hurt us again, sometimes deeply inside. Living so closely together can also lead to routine. We may take one another for granted, speaking more sharply at home than we would in the congregation. Over time, a pattern of small disrespectful comments can create tension, distance, and a lack of emotional safety. The illustration in paragraph 7 compares disrespect to arthritis in the body. When joints are inflamed, simple movements become painful and awkward. Similarly, when family members speak harshly or ignore one another's feelings, everyday cooperation becomes difficult, and the home loses its peaceful, welcoming atmosphere. However, the comparison also contains hope. Unlike physical arthritis, which may not be fully cured, disrespect in the family can be reduced. When even one member decides to speak kindly, listen carefully, and apologize quickly, the atmosphere gradually changes and becomes warmer, safer, and calmer. Jehovah notices every effort we make to treat our relatives with respect, especially when it is hard. By relying on Him in prayer and applying Bible counsel, we can weaken harmful patterns. Little by little, our home can become a place of rest and unity. Question for paragraph 8. According to paragraph 8, why is showing respect to family members actually part of our worship to Jehovah? Paragraph 8 explains that honoring our relatives is about more than good manners. When we show respect at home, we are responding to a sacred responsibility. Jehovah Himself established the family arrangement and expects it to be a place where love and care are expressed. In 1 Timothy chapter 5, the Apostle Paul showed that caring for family members is tied to godly devotion. When we provide materially and emotionally for our household, we are not fulfilling a cultural expectation. We are demonstrating loyal attachment to Jehovah and His standards. Showing respect in the family also protects our spirituality. Paul warned that those who deliberately refuse to care for their household are worse than a person without faith. That strong wording reminds us that neglect or contempt at home can damage our relationship with Jehovah. When we honor parents, grandparents, spouses, or children, we are really honoring the one who designed family roles. Treating relatives with dignity says, in effect, Jehovah, I appreciate the structure you created, and I want my home to reflect your loving, balanced personality. Remembering this powerful reason strengthens us when family life is demanding. We may feel tired or misunderstood. We continue to show respect because we want Jehovah's smile. Each act of kindness at home becomes an expression of worship, drawing us closer to our loving Father.
Question for paragraph 9. From paragraph 9, how can husbands and wives show genuine respect for each other in everyday situations? Paragraph 9 shows that mutual respect between husband and wife is essential for a happy, spiritual marriage. A husband who honors his wife does more than avoid abuse. He actively shows, in private and in public, that she is precious and deeply appreciated by him. He never uses sarcasm, threats, or physical force to impose his will. Instead, he treats his wife as a valued partner, listening to her opinions and making decisions lovingly. When illness or emotional struggles affect her words, he remembers her faithful record and reacts patiently. Likewise, a wife shows honor for her husband by speaking about him respectfully at home and in front of others. She avoids exposing his weaknesses in conversation or on social media. Instead, she highlights qualities, strengthening his confidence and supporting his role in the family. Both marriage mates must fight tendencies toward mockery, name-calling, or constant criticism. Such habits silently corrode trust. By imitating spiritually minded brothers and sisters who speak well of their spouse, couples learn to build one another up and create a safe, encouraging atmosphere at home daily. When husband and wife show respect, they reflect Christ's love for the congregation. Their home becomes a testimony that Jehovah's standards work. Challenges like illness or anxiety may remain, but mutual honor and patient communication help them face trials together and keep their marriage strong. Question for paragraph 10. In paragraph 10, how can young ones show in practical ways that they truly respect their parents, even when caring for them becomes challenging? Young ones in paragraph 10 can show respect for their parents first by obeying rules at home. Even when limits seem strict or inconvenient, they remember that Jehovah has entrusted father and mother with serious responsibility. Obedience shows trust in Jehovah's arrangement, not mere agreement. Respectful speech is another powerful way to honor parents. Tone, facial expressions, and choice of words all send a message. When young ones answer calmly, avoid sarcasm, and listen without interrupting, they prove that they take their parents seriously and appreciate years of loving sacrifice received. Paragraph 10 also reminds us that parents eventually grow older and may need additional practical help. Some require assistance with appointments, finances, or daily tasks. Instead of resenting these responsibilities, spiritually minded youths view them as opportunities to show gratitude for years of loving care received. Consider situations like Maria's in paragraph 10, whose father did not share her faith. His illness made caregiving harder, and his attitude was not always pleasant. Yet heartfelt prayer helped her focus not on his personality, but on Jehovah's command to honor parents faithfully regardless.
Maria learned that her father did not need to change before she could treat him respectfully. That realization can help many young ones today. When they honor imperfect parents because they love Jehovah, they feel His support, enjoy a conscience, and strengthen their spiritual identity.
Question for paragraph 11. According to paragraph 11, why can it be a real struggle at times to continue treating our fellow worshipers with respect? Paragraph 11 acknowledges that even among fellow worshipers, misunderstandings and hurt feelings can arise. Although we all strive to follow Bible standards, we remain imperfect. At times, a brother or sister may speak abruptly, overlook our feelings, or judge a situation without knowing every detail. When that happens, we feel disappointed, especially if we expected more from someone serving Jehovah. The hurt can feel deeper because it comes from within the congregation. If we are not careful, negative thoughts may grow, and respect for that person can start to weaken. Paragraph 11 reminds us that Jehovah expects us to continue putting up with one another in love. Colossians 3, verse 13, urges us to continue forgiving when there is real cause for complaint. That means our respect cannot depend on flawless conduct or perfect communication. To cope, we pray for Jehovah's Spirit and ask Him to help us see matters from our brother's viewpoint. Perhaps he is tired, worried, or struggling. Meditating on our own shortcomings softens our heart and helps us remember how often Jehovah has patiently forgiven us. We also benefit from recalling occasions when fellow believers have encouraged, supported, and protected us spiritually. This broader perspective keeps one incident from overshadowing years of kindness. As we imitate Jehovah's patience, we preserve precious unity, safeguard our respect for others, and strengthen congregation peace. Question for paragraph 12. In paragraph 12, what reasons does the Bible give for showing deep respect to our fellow believers, especially those taking the lead? Paragraph 12 highlights that Jehovah closely observes how we speak about those taking the lead. In the first century, some were using disrespectful words about glorious ones, likely congregation elders. That attitude was serious because it undermined respect for the arrangement Jehovah himself had established. The faithful angels provide a powerful contrast. They saw wrong conduct and proud attitudes, yet they refused to speak abusively. Out of deep respect for Jehovah, they left judgment in His hands. Their example teaches us to restrain our tongue even when emotions run strong. If perfect spirit creatures refuse to use harsh language about wrongdoers, how much more should we avoid speaking disrespectfully about our brothers? Imperfect elders may make mistakes or express themselves imperfectly. Still, their hard work in behalf of the congregation deserves appreciation and loyal support. Paragraph 12 reminds us that we should take the lead in honoring fellow believers. We speak well of them, support congregation decisions, and avoid harmful gossip or critical conversation. When concerns arise, we handle matters respectfully through scriptural channels, not by spreading doubts or suspicions. When we choose to honor our brothers and sisters, we really express respect for Jehovah. The congregation becomes a safer environment where publishers, young ones, and interested persons feel protected. This spirit of honor strengthens trust, promotes unity, and brings joy to our loving God. Question for paragraphs 13 and 14. From paragraphs 13 and 14, what are some specific ways brothers and sisters can show respect for those in the congregation, and how can personal examples help us adjust our attitude?
Paragraphs 13 and 14 show that respect in the congregation begins with those taking the lead. Elders reflect Christ-like love by basing counsel on Scripture, choosing kind words, and approaching sensitive matters only when composed. Their goal is to restore, not to humiliate or control. When elders patiently listen, pray, and explain Bible principles, publishers feel safe approaching them. Loving shepherding creates a climate where advice is easier to accept, even when it is firm. Such respectful treatment reminds us that Jehovah values each sheep and wants none ever crushed. Paragraphs 13 and 14 also highlight the role sisters play in protecting an atmosphere of respect. By refusing to repeat negative comments or unverified stories, they help stop harmful gossip. Instead, they look for opportunities to speak appreciatively about elders and publishers in everyday conversation. The experience of Rocio illustrates how attitudes can change. At first, she felt an elder had been too harsh and spoke negatively about him at home. Later, Bible reading helped her realize she was not respecting one who worked hard for the congregation's spiritual welfare. After prayer and study, Rocio realized that pride had influenced her reactions. As she cultivated humility, she found it easier to value counsel and respect those leading. Her experience shows that our ability to show respect is closely linked to modesty and trust in Jehovah. Question for paragraph 15. According to paragraph 15, why might we sometimes struggle to keep showing respect to people who are not in the congregation? Paragraph 15 reminds us that dealing with people outside the congregation can be demanding. At school, at work, or in the ministry, we often meet individuals who seem indifferent, cold, or even opposed to Bible truth, and such reactions naturally test our heart and motives. Some have grown up in homes where God's name was never mentioned respectfully, or where religion was mocked. Others were taught distorted ideas about Jehovah and His people. Because of this background, they sometimes react sharply or show interest when we speak about the kingdom. We may also have to deal with supervisors who are unfair, teachers who ridicule Bible standards, or classmates who pressure us to compromise. After repeated negative experiences, it can be easy to slip into a critical attitude and view such ones as unreasonable or unworthy. If we are not careful, our disappointment can gradually erode our respect. We might start speaking about people in worldly environments as though they are all the same, forgetting that Jehovah can read hearts and that some may respond if approached with patience and kindness. Paragraph 15 helps us identify this danger early. When we notice irritation growing, we are moved to examine our thoughts in prayer and to ask Jehovah for help. By doing so, we protect our view of people and keep our respect from quietly fading spiritually. Question for paragraph 16. In paragraph 16, what reasons does Jehovah give us for showing respect to people who are not yet serving Him? Paragraph 16 highlights that Jehovah carefully watches how we treat people who are not yet serving Him. They may be neighbors, relatives, workmates, or officials. Our conduct toward them can either attract them to Bible truth or reinforce negative ideas they already hold stubbornly inside. Peter explains that fine conduct among unbelievers can move some eventually to glorify God. Even without many words, consistent honesty, kindness, and respect may soften prejudice. A householder might later remember a thoughtful witness who listened patiently and showed genuine concern during a difficult moment. Paragraph 16 also stresses the way we defend our faith. Whether before authorities, in a classroom, or chatting at a doorway, Jehovah expects us to answer with mildness and deep respect. The goal is never to win an argument, but to honor our God's name. Remember, Jehovah is present in every conversation. He hears not only the facts we present, but also our tone, facial expressions, and attitude. When we explain our beliefs respectfully, even to someone who mocks, we show we are concerned about pleasing Jehovah first and foremost. This perspective gives powerful motivation. Treating unbelievers with respect may not always change their view immediately, yet it always counts with Jehovah. Each courteous reply, each calm explanation, becomes part of our sacred service, creating the best opportunity for sincere ones eventually to respond appreciatively. Question for paragraph 17. Based on paragraph 17, how can we show genuine respect for those outside the congregation in our ministry and daily life? Paragraph 17 shows that respect for those outside the congregation must be visible in our words and actions. In the ministry, we avoid sounding superior or impatient. Instead, we speak kindly, listen carefully, and remember that every person we meet is precious to Jehovah personally. Rather than looking down on those with Bible knowledge, we consider them as potential brothers and sisters. Even when someone interrupts, dismisses us, or expresses strong opinions, we try to answer calmly. We leave a dignified impression that may soften their heart to kingdom truth. Paragraph 17 also addresses situations when we are insulted. We resist the urge to reply with humor or sarcastic comments. Jesus did not retaliate when spoken against. By imitating him, we protect our peace and show that we rely on Jehovah's justice, not our own. At work, respect is shown by being conscientious. We arrive on time, follow directions that do not conflict with Bible principles, and do our best when no one is watching. Such diligence adorns the teaching of God and can quiet criticism from supervisors or co-workers. Of course, work may not always be appreciated, yet Jehovah notes our wholehearted efforts. When we remain honest, respectful, and cooperative, we can be sure we are pleasing Him. This assurance strengthens us to keep showing respect in the ministry, at school, and in employment. Question for paragraph 18. According to paragraph 18, why is it always worthwhile to cultivate and show respect for others in every setting? Paragraph 18 gathers all these thoughts and reminds us that respect is never wasted. Showing honor within the family brings joy to Jehovah, the head of the household. He sees every patient conversation, every act of care, and every effort to keep peace at home. Respect in the congregation likewise honors our Heavenly Father. When we speak well of our brothers, support the elders, and refuse gossip, we strengthen unity. Visitors sense that Jehovah's Spirit is present. Young ones learn that imperfect humans can live peacefully when guided by Bible principles. Paragraph 18 also highlights our conduct toward those outside. Courteous words and dignified behavior create the best setting for sincere people to glorify God. Even if they do not accept the truth immediately, they see how Bible principles transform ordinary daily life and personal relationships. Jehovah notices when we keep showing respect despite receiving little in return. Some may continue to ignore us, speak harshly, or misunderstand our motives. Yet our respectful conduct proves we are guided by Jehovah's standards, not by the fluctuating attitudes of humans around us daily. Jehovah's promise in 1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 30 assures us that those honoring Him will be honored. That honor may come as inner peace, a clean conscience, stronger faith, or future assignments. Truly, cultivating respect now is a beautiful investment in Jehovah's loving smile.